Alright, so today we are going to be learning how to convert the design we made previously for our computer backing into something that the laser cutter can cut out for us. So the very first step is we need to go and open up the file we already made. And so we'll go up here to the data panel with this little set of squares, and we'll find our computer case demo, which I have right here. And we'll double click on that to open it up. And if we look at it, this should look exactly how I want it. Great. There's one thing we need to do specifically for text. The laser cutter doesn't understand how to do letters. It only understands lines. So we need to turn our letters into lines. So the way that we'll do that is first we'll make sure we've activated the right component by clicking this. So I've activated the current component. I'll click this drop down. I'll click the drop down for sketches. I'll find the sketch that has the letters, so that is sketch 2, and you can kind of see how it's highlighted over here when I mouse over this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click or control click and say edit sketch. So I'm coming back into this. It'll take me back to the sketch view. Everything is still here. When you go to edit a sketch, some things might disappear because you're editing an earlier sketch, and so it'll hide the things that come later. Right now I've done everything in this second sketch, so nothing's hidden. What I need to do is I need to turn these blue letters into lines. So I will right click or control click on Lex, and I'll get this little drop down, and I will click explode text, which turns letters into lines. And I'll click that. It turns, oops, and if I click away, you can see that these letters are now green, and that means that they are now lines, not text, and that's something the Glowforge can understand. If you go to the next steps and you don't see the letters, it's probably because you didn't explode the text. So I'm going to right click here again. I'll say explode text. I'll click off screen. Now we can see that's green, all my letters are exploded. And I'm going to go back up here and I'll hit stop sketch. Everything's back to normal. So everything is still the same. I've just converted the sketch so that the laser cutter can understand it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit save just to make sure that I don't lose that work. And then I need to take my sketch out of Fusion 360. So I will go back to sketch 2. And I'll click on it to make sure that it has everything I want in it. And I can see that it has the outline, it has the tent, it has the river, it has Lex's name. So I have all the parts I want. So I'm going to control click on this sketch, and I'm going to say save as DXF, which is a format that takes all the lines out. So save as DXF. I'm going to call this Miles Demo Case. You should put your name here instead of Miles. And I'm going to hit save. And again, I've already done this, so I just need to hit replace, but that won't pop up for you. And now I'm done with Fusion 360. So I'm actually going to close Fusion 360 and open up Adobe Illustrator. Adobe Illustrator, you should see this icon somewhere on your desktop. If not, you can search for it. You should open it up at the sign in. And you will see this. What we're going to do now is we're going to open, and I'm just going to open up that file I just saved called Miles Demo Case DXF. It's going to ask you, it's going to give you this little pop-up menu. What you need to do is you need to click original size because you want it to stay the same size, and you need to scale it from 1 to 1, and the size needs to be millimeters. That way, what we have in Illustrator is going to be the exact same dimensions that we had in Fusion 360. Otherwise, you might have a really small case for the back of your friend's or your partner's computer, or you might have a really huge one. And we need to make sure it's the right size because we made the measurements so that it fits the back of your case. So once I have it at original size, 1 to 1 in millimeters, I'm going to hit OK. And I'm going to see my sketch. Now the first thing I notice is actually this white area is a little too small. So I'm going to go up to File, Document Setup, Edit Artboards, because that is called an artboard. And you'll see this blue area show up. And I'm just going to grab this corner. And I'm going to grab that corner. And I accidentally created a second artboard. I'm just going to hit Control Z to undo it. And actually grab this corner and move that there. And now everything is within the artboard. And I'll just press Escape, or you can click this tool again to come back. So everything I want is here. I'm double checking that I have all the lines. Now, when we use the laser cutter, there are kind of 3 different things we can do. We can cut, which is what we're going to want to do to this, like all the way around the outside. We're going to want to cut this out. We can etch lines. So if we wanted to just do the outer part of these letters, we would etch them. And then we can kind of inscribe or shave off a huge area of wood, like just down a little bit. And that would be probably what we want to do for the river, to get the whole river down a layer. In order to do this, we need to make them all different colors, because the Glowforge understands that different colors do different things. So if we put this in now, the Glowforge would be like, everything is black, we can only do one thing. So we would cut all of this, or we would etch all of this. And that's not what we want. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set this outside part to, I'm going to make red my cut color. So when you hover over this, you'll see this little X pop up. It'll say path. The whole outside should like light up in this little blue, and I'm going to click it. And you'll see that it's kind of lit up in this blue. And I'm going to go over here to the right where it says stroke, which is kind of the line color. And right now it's black, and I'm going to click it. I'm going to click this little thing that says RGB, which means red, green, blue color over here. And I'm going to find a nice red. And that looks great to me, and I'm just going to press enter. And then if I click away, unselecting this, you'll see the outside is red. So that's going to be our cut color. And this is going to cut out the case of our computer. Now, we don't want anything else to be red, because if we cut anything else, it's going to be holes in our design. And that's probably not what you want. Maybe there are times when you want this, but it's a little more complicated to get right. Next, I want to just etch the lines around Lex's name. So I'm going to make that color purple. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I've clicked this tool up here, right here, and I'm going to select just that part of her name. And I'm going to go and I'm going to make this purple. And I'll press enter, and that's purple. And then I'm going to do the same thing to Lex's first name. Nice purple color. So that is going to be my etch color. And now I think I really want to make the tent an entire layer down. I don't just want the lines colored, I want the whole inside kind of a little bit down. And the same thing for the river. So what I need to do with this is I need to make it all filled in with one color. Unfortunately, Illustrator is a little touchy with the filling in. So the first thing we have to do is make sure we have selected this tool. Select everything on our artwork. We're going to go up to Object. We're going to go down to Live Paint. And we're going to say Make. And then we're just going to click over here. And what that does is it kind of just sets up the lines so that you can do this kind of like paint bucket fill. Now what we're going to do is we're going to press the K on your keyboard. Press K. Your mouse should turn into this little paint bucket symbol. And now this will let us fill in these areas. And you see that they're highlighted red like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here. And right now, I wouldn't fill with anything. It's just empty space. And I'm going to make this green. Green is going to be my fill color. And I'm going to fill the river with green. And I'm going to fill the tent with green. And that is all going to it's going to take a little bit of wood off the top all there. So it's going to be, the river is going to be down like 1 millimeter. The tent's going to be down 1 millimeter. I think this is going to look really nice. And we're pretty much done. We'll cut the outside. We'll etch the lines around Lex's name. And we'll drop the river down and the tent down a little bit. So I can press Escape or click back on this tool. And I'm going to say File, Save As. It's still going to be Miles Demo Case, and this again, Miles should be your name. Down here on the format, our laser cutter understands a specific format called SVG. So we're going to change this to SVG. And we are going to hit save. None of this is important. We're just going to hit OK. And we are done. And we are now ready to upload our design to the Glowforge and actually cut it out and then give it to our partner. And that'll be coming in a future video. So that is all.